3, 2, 1. Hello, I'm Ben Stanhope.
And I'm Zachary Lee Wolf.
And I'm Leah Fenstermaker.
Oh, great, she's back.
She's back, everyone. Well, technically,
You're
at this
welcome.
moment in time, I haven't released the roller coasters episode, but it will be released before this episode comes out.
So was that relevant to say?
Yeah, not really. I'm just giving people unnecessary background
We're talking to,
information.
like, the future.
Yeah, that's the confusing part about pre-recording something and then releasing
But we're
it
also
later.
talking about the past in the future.
Yeah.
But we're in the present.
And
But
we're
we're talking about something that's already happened but is going to happen in the future as well.
But it also affects the future.
Pew!
So
I
you have
guess
to
that's
think
like
about the
everything
implications.
ever.
Which is sort of like what this movie that we watched is about, and it's called 13 Going on 30.
It's the best movie ever.
I think it's directed. I forgot to write down who it's directed by. So
If that gives you a perspective of what we
yeah,
think of
it's
it.
obviously not somebody who I remember because I'm pretty good with directors, you know, Quentin Tarantino.
That's who directed it.
But no, Gary Winnick. No, don't use Quentin Tarantino's name in vain.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my, Quentin Tarantino.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true. But it also, let's see, it made $95.6 million on a $37 million budget.
Okay.
So like
That's
pretty,
a lot of money.
A little more than
pretty-
double.
Pretty good, and it had a Rotten Tomatoes score of 65.
That's good.
That's
And it
generous.
was released in the year of 2004, which I forgot to mention.
I was
Zach,
two.
What do you think about this
The
movie?
tagline for this movie, it is a very pooky movie that,
Hello,
if you've seen the
Pookie.
movie, then you know, that will be probably rated between 13 and 30.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Did he say come here, Pookie, or hello,
He said
Pookie?
hello, Pookie.
It
I
was
think.
terrifying. Either
Yeah,
way.
that guy was real sleazy looking, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, I wanted to punch him.
Yeah.
She did. Or kicked him. I don't know.
I wish
She hit
I were
him
her
where the
to
sun don't
punch him in that
shine.
moment.
Looked painful.
Yeah, and then the receptionist reaction or whatever.
She's
was
like, oh!
Okay, before we get started, that receptionist was my favorite character.
Other than the DJ in the dancing scene.
The DJ was not that funny. He was
I just
kinda
like
funny.
that he was there.
I've never
I would
even, like,
rather have
noticed
a movie
him.
with
My
That's the
favorite
point,
character
I
is
reckon.
Maddie.
Maddie.
M-A-T-T-Y.
Oh, yeah.
M-A-T-T-Y.
Yeah.
Maddie. Matt.
Matty.
Flanhoff.
So on a
Flamhoff.
scale of Mark
Flamhoff.
Ruffalo acting in this movie to Mark Ruffalo acting, well, I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, he's
Mark-
better in this than he is in the Avengers. I think in
Yeah,
the
that's
Avengers,
true.
it's not his strongest work.
No, I've definitely seen him in better things. Zodiac, he's pretty good in.
Mm-hmm.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He doesn't really have like a.
Has there
huge
been
role
a day in
that
his
one.
life where he didn't wake up hot?
Yes,
This morning.
right now.
I am joking, Mark Ruffalo.
It's funny. I listened to the rewatchables and they.
What if he
used to-
heard this?
they
Mark
used-
Ruffalo, if you hear this, I love you.
They used to name one of their awards after Mark Ruffalo because he tended to overact things. But
Yeah.
not-
Yeah,
not-
an
not-
overreaction gets tears
But not
because
in this
Leah
movie. He
watches
didn't
it and
overact in this
emotionally
movie.
connects to him so well that she starts crying.
Yeah.
But botch, watch, or top notch, guys.
Well, I think we know Leah's, so Leah, go ahead. You go first.
Top notch is the best, right? Because like top notch.
is like
Woo!
you can't go a day in your life. Like,
Sorry, I
you're
just
living a
screamed into
sad
the
life.
microphone.
Leah, I have a question. How many times have you seen this movie?
Oh.
Don't be ashamed.
A lot more than 30.
Oh, okay.
I mean, okay, so I think there was a week where I watched it like 4 times in 1 week, and I've watched it at least probably 3 times a year since like I was like 10. So that's gonna be a lot.
I watched a Mark
Probably
Ruffalo
more than
movie
that.
4 times in 1 week, but that was Avengers Endgame.
So
You can
How old am
hardly
I?
categorize that as a Mark.
Am I
Ruffalo
18 now?
movie.
It's all him.
so that's like at least 24, just going off of like our yearly quota, if I'm guessing.
Okay.
But I'm guessing it's at 30.
So it's
around
like
there.
30. Wow. I think that's the max amount of times you're allowed to watch it in your life.
No, oh no. I thought about that today. I was watching it and I was like, just think one day I'm gonna watch it for the last time.
I would watch it again, but probably just once, and probably in like 5 years. Like the Avengers cutscene 5 years later.
But I also give it a botch because I don't think you have to watch it at all.
You gave it a botch?
Yes.
Leah's crying.
Yeah, I think this is only the start of our disagreement.
It's gonna be a long night, guys.
Look, I'm torn because I want to give it a botch really bad, but Leah's also crying. So
Zach's too nice,
she's not
guys.
actually crying.
You've seen Zach be the like, oh, I'm the movie critic person who rates everything low until now. When
You know what I'll do? I'll give
to,
it.
like step on some toes.
I'll give it a top botch.
A top botch.
What does that mean? Is
An
that
executive
like,
decision.
why can't you give it a watch?
Okay, I'll give it a top watch.
Top watch.
Not top. Not no. I'll give it a bull watch.
Bull watch.
Watch? I can live with that. I can live with that.
Okay, fine. I mean, I still gave it a botch, but that's fair.
I mean, I
I'll give
think
it a
that's
watch
straight up
just
like.
for
I think it's entertaining enough, but like I think there's like so many that there's probably a lot better rom-coms than this one.
Actually, I've seen most of the rom-coms out there, and I'd say this one ranks really
I've
high.
seen most
Leah
of the
has
movies
seen,
in the world.
Leah has seen most rom-coms.
Well, as far as
Have
rom-coms
you watched
go,
Palm Springs?
I mean, what do you think
Can you
I
answer
do
me
when
that?
things don't work out with a guy?
Palm-
I don't just
Palm
go
Springs was,
like
I guarantee
read
you,
a
like-
book. I watch every rom-com that's ever existed.
You didn't answer my question though. Have you watched Palm Springs?
No.
That's so much better than this movie.
I watched a movie right after
And it still has the sort of gimmicky time thing involved, but they do it a lot better.
some heart pain once. I watched a movie because I wanted a rom-com, feel good, whatever, and it's like about this girl and what's it called? It's my best friend's wedding. Worst rom-com I've ever
You know
seen.
what I do after
it's
heart
like this
pain?
whole thing, and like she goes
Watch The
after him, and she
Joker.
realizes
Eat
she's
some
in love with
Tums.
her best friend, and then it doesn't work out. He marries someone else, and she ends up single, alone, and depressed, just like me. Except I was kind of hoping that there was something that would like give me hope instead of being like, yeah, you're not always the main character. Sometimes you just end up sad and alone. And I was like, this is
That sounds
great.
like a good movie, actually. I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah,
Let's
next
watch a
time I'm on the
movie.
podcast, if you want to see me lose my freaking mind, my best friend's wedding, it's great. It's like if this movie didn't end with a happy ending.
Ben, I did say
Which I was
to
kind of
you,
rooting for.
I did say to you in this movie that what if the significance of my life is as significant as those background characters in the movie? And we analyzed the background characters in the movie at one point.
Or like, what is that
But
guy doing?
what
does
if
he
they
do
have
with his
their own
life? He's
movie?
just
What if
riding
it's
on this
like-
bus.
What if
But
it's
yeah.
like a Disney movie where, you know how they have these little like Easter eggs, and they're just the background character in the moment, like Rapunzel going to Anna's wedding in Frozen. She's just a background character, but she has her own crazy in-depth story that people also love. It's just in this one scene, she's a background character.
Yeah. No, I agree. I forget. There's like a fancy word for that, realizing that you're not the main character and that other people have as complex lives as you.
Yeah. I'm
Some
gonna
people's
Google
are more
that.
complex. Like Ben lives a very complex life.
Yes. No, I actually don't know whether my life is that complex, but you know, I guess there is a point. Everybody has the tendency to be self-centered.
I think it's called Sonder.
Me included.
I
So
think it is.
Every day is realizing that your life is not as important as you think it is.
I think it's in the dictionary of. It's called like the dictionary of like depressing thoughts or something like that. I forget. Something like that. But anyway.
It is weird to think about, especially like people who you walk by and you're like, what the heck is wrong with that person? And you're like, wow, that person has their own life story. That sounded really judgy.
But then
like,
people are going by wondering what the
They're
heck is
like-
wrong with me.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I like want to know like what do they think about, not necessarily because I care, but just because it's curious. I'm like, what do I kind of want to know, because like I don't know, because you can't live your life worried about what other people think about you all the time. I mean, most of us probably do, but at the same time, wouldn't it be interesting to know like what do they think about me in this moment? Not necessarily because it's gonna like affect you in a positive or negative way, just like pure curiosity.
I get it. Curiosity driven, not caring driven.
I think it would be interesting, but also the more that you can live your life like you don't care. Well, I mean, in a healthy way. Like, you should care to some degree about, like, people who are close to you, their input on your life. Otherwise, you'll become, like, a narcissist who's completely living outside of, like you're only living selfishly. Like, that's not a good way to live. But
Well,
if
you
you're
think-
just worried about random people, like, how they think about you, that you don't even know what they're actually thinking, like, that's unhealthy.
Yeah,
Like, there's
sometimes
a good balance.
you have to be aware of like what do they think of me in like regards to Jesus, I guess. Like what do they think, you know what I mean? Like where do they, are you pointing them towards Christ? Sorry, we're talking about rom-coms and this got like really spiritual, but I've been thinking about this since like 10 o'clock in the morning because you were talking about self-esteem, and I was like, well, in theory I don't really care what other people think of me based on that, but I do care what other people think about Jesus based on me. Does that make sense?
That's true. I would agree with that.
Know your priorities of who cares, because you shouldn't care about those random people out there that maybe you slip and fall and drop your books and nobody helps you pick it up because of COVID or whatever. Or even if there's no COVID, they just don't help you get them.
But if you're actually interacting with them, it matters.
Yeah, long term. But maybe like if you're in like a breakout room with someone, you know, and like in the Zoom meeting, and you're just talking with someone, like you shouldn't care. You should just get your work done and like do whatever it takes, you know, like the Avengers, whatever it takes. Hashtag.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Leah, do you have a good quote for this movie? I'm bad at transitioning, by the way.
Okay.
I like our discussion, but like,
Hold on. Here's a transition. The selfishness of that you described was like Jennifer Garner's character.
Hello, Pookie. No, I'm kidding. That's not my favorite quote.
she has sort of
The
a
quote-
naive selfishness in this movie.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree.
I really like the quote where she's like, "Can you tell I'm wearing underwear? Because I totally am." And then she's like, "I think that's the point." I like that. I've always thought that was funny.
Yeah.
In a movie where there was barely any funny lines, that might have been one of them.
Man gets right to the point.
Yeah. Anyway, so my boy Keith Phipps from AV Club is going to bring us our outsider review, which we give because you can always be a pessimist. And Keith...
What's his name? Keith Phipps?
What about your quotes?
Well, we're not always pessimistic about movies, just some.
No, what about your quotes, though?
Well,
you
Your
just
favorite quote. Oh,
I
okay.
don't have a favorite quote because I can't remember it.
Oh, I like it when
Also,
she tells...
the people in the other room are talking very loudly, so
yeah,
if you
you might
hear
be able
them...
to hear that.
Then those count as our quote.
Yeah,
What was
that's
I
our,
gonna
that's
say?
our quote.
Oh. When she says, "You can be the pot and the kettle, B-word." I like that one, too.
She loves the B word.
Yeah. There's some callback lines that are decently clever enough.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, it's the 7 6. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's just such a good movie. When he's like, "You can't be the 7th 6 chick. It's mathematically impossible." I like that one
yeah, that
because
one's
now
good.
anytime there's a group of 6 and a 7 person shows up, all I'm gonna be is like, "No 7th 6 chick, get out of here."
That kid and the secretary, best characters.
Maddie?
you know what I realized that we never did, guys? We never went over the plot, so we're just talking about this movie. And I just skipped the section that said we're supposed to go over the plot.
Leah, can you give a very quick explanation of the plot?
Yeah. Okay, so.
That was a lot of yas. Come on, efficiency.
Okay, so Jenna Rink is the main character, and at the beginning it's her 13th birthday, and she's super not cool, and there's this group of 6 girls at school, and they're like the cliquey, like, ooh, super
So
popular.
nerdy.
They're the 6 chicks. They are the stuff. But Jenna has this best friend named Matt, and we all know Matt has a thing for Jenna.
Who's kind of weird.
But like, yeah, he's a little dorky like her, and he like is like, "No, be who you are. You're original." Like yada yada. Like you can just tell he loves everything about her, and he's
And
like
creepy.
She's so perfect in his eyes, but she just can't really see it. So then, on her 13th birthday party, she has all the popular people over, and they bail on her, and she's supposed to be playing 7 minutes in heaven with like the super hot guy, but then her boyfriend,
So hot.
her best friend shows up and is in the closet, and she's like, "Ew, no, you're not him. Like, get out of here." Then she's like, "I just want to be 30," because like she wants to be sexy and hot and like old and mature and just have her life together. And she's like, and she makes this wish to be 30, and then she wakes
I
up.
wish upon a star.
She wakes up from her wish, and she is 30, and she realizes that like, oh wow, my life's a mess. She's sleeping with married men. She's just like a totally terrible person. She's like,
It takes her a while to figure that out, actually.
yeah, she's going behind
You have
her
to
like,
remember that she's like 13. So
yeah,
she
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
understand all
exactly.
this
So
right
she's
away.
like super confused at first, and she kind of reconnects with her best friend, and she realizes that over the years, like she's 30 now, and they really haven't been friends since her 13th birthday party, which is for her that's yesterday, but for him it's been 17 years.
Because he was creepy.
So slowly through all of this, they reconnect and like they fall in love. Like she realizes he's always loved her, and he says that, but she realizes she loves him, but he's engaged. So like at the end scene, am I allowed to give spoilers? Like
Go ahead.
how deep is this? Okay.
Nobody cares.
But like, so yeah, at the end, she made the wish on a dollhouse with like wishing dust, if that wasn't obvious. So at the end,
That was not obvious.
Buy from our store for $9.95.
Hold on. Let me cut in for a sec. This guy, what was his name? Maddie?
Maddie.
Maddie made this dollhouse for her. And it was the most creepy thing. She was in the bathtub.
No, okay, she really wanted a Barbie dream house, so he made her like her own
Yeah, but she
homemade.
was in the bathtub and he was
dream-
down on the first floor with a camera in her house. Like, what
he
was he doing?
No, there was her boyfriend, the guy she wanted to date, was in the house, and he was like, "I'm making sure that he doesn't do anything
Spoiler
shady."
alert, he becomes a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Super lame.
Where was I? Okay, so he's supposed to be getting married, and they fall in love, and she realizes she's loved him, and yada yada. He's the best thing ever. But then she goes to stop the wedding, and she's like, "I just think if you knew who I was and like you really did love me, you wouldn't be marrying someone else right now." And he's like, "I've always loved you, but sometimes," what do you say? "Sometimes you don't get the dream house, but you get pretty close." And let me tell you what, if my future husband is saying that on our wedding day, I'm gonna be very disappointed. He's like, sometimes it's not the best, but it's okay. But so anyways, he ends up choosing the one lady, and he gives her back her dollhouse, and it's this really sad scene. I cry, like it's like a 50-50 shot if Leah cries in this scene, and depending on if people are there and if Leah just got dumped.
If you didn't understand,
But-
Leah is the person who's talking.
but like, so then she makes another wish on the house, and she basically wishes to go back to being 13, and finally she's back, and she's in the closet, and Matt opens the door, and she kisses him, and then it ends, and they're married, and they're perfect, and literally that's all I want in life. I just want to find my Maddie.
He turns into the Hulk.
Hulk smash.
Okay, he's played by Mark Ruffalo, so that's why they're making it a big thing. I think we might have already talked about this on the podcast.
We did, but that's okay.
And then Jennifer Garner. I love you too, Jennifer, actually. She's one of my favorite actresses.
I don't know, she's kind of annoying.
And she has a pretend cooking channel on her Instagram. You should check it out. It's really
Is it called
soothing.
Jennifer Gardener?
No, it's called My Pretend Cooking Channel.
Oh, well, that's kind of lame. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like it says what it actually is.
Yeah, it's like the boring show.
I actually really like it. Jennifer Garner is one of my favorite actresses.
Really? What else was she in? That's what I can't figure about that this
What do you
Jennifer
mean?
Garner.
Let me
She
look.
was in Pearl Harbor with Ben Affleck. She was in Daredevil with Ben Affleck, I think, again. So, was there something in her and Ben Affleck being together? Like, I don't know.
I think they might have been married.
She was in Juno with Michael Cera. She was in...
She was married to Ben Affleck.
That's what I figured because they kept being in movies together. So usually that's like, oh, you guys should get married. Oh, good.
No, she was in
Hollywood.
Alias.
She was in Dallas Buyers Club. Matthew.
She's in Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she's one of the people. I think he like.
No, it's a cameo.
She basically pays. He's supposed to be paying her to sleep with him, but she like pays him because of how he routed the check. It was
she's
worthless,
that
and
lady.
he traded it cash. Yeah.
She was in Law and Order.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, enough of that.
She just has a beautiful smile. See the Timothy Green thing, right? Where
Right.
with the kid with the leafy stuff.
I've never watched that movie. But back to our boy Keith Phipps, who we were gonna do this too early.
Keith is listening to
enjoyed
this
the
and he's
recap.
like, why haven't they talked about me yet? Sorry, Keith.
Sorry, Keith. Sorry
I'm
to
just
keep you
more
waiting.
important.
Apart from the moment when Garner unselfconsciously flirts with a 13-year-old boy
That was
when
good.
she's 30, the film is pretty much devoid of comic spark, and though it seems to have sweet intention, it keeps sending mixed messages. He didn't give it a number score. That is lame, Keith. You have to numerically score movies. We can't say, oh, art is subjective. No, art is objective, obviously.
We have to objectify it.
Us people who have never, made a movie in our entire lives can clearly come up with a definite number score. I mean, that's so obvious. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Anyway.
First off, this movie's freaking hilarious, and it has a great thing. It's the only thing
It does
some
have
days
mixed
that makes me
messages, I
actually
agree with
believe in love. So, like, Keith, you can
This
shove
is
it up
the
your
only
butt.
thing.
No, I'm kidding.
Love is dead.
Love is Blind. I watched that show.
I've seen that.
That's a
too.
show.
And I feel like Love is Not Blind. From the conclusion.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the relationships didn't end up working out.
I
so.
watched all the way through the full first season. It was insane.
It was actually really hard to watch after the first episode, but I did watch the whole thing.
It
Yeah.
was good. That one lady screwed over that one guy at the beginning, Mark.
Matt?
Mark?
No.
Do you remember Mark?
Maddie.
Oh, Mark. Oh, the one guy, Jessica.
Jessica.
She
screwed
was the
over Mark.
worst,
and she
because
went with.
She totally led Mark on because she was definitely into the Barnett guy.
Barnett. Yes, that's what his name was.
She was into Barnett. Barnett ended up with Amber, and they actually got married. But Jessica was oh man, you don't want to get me started on Jessica because Mark was also dumb too because he
fell for her and he went back to her.
He should have known that if it wasn't actually there, he shouldn't have been trying to force it just because it was on a TV show. Like, definitely Mark could have found somebody else who was a better fit because I don't think they were a good fit. But Jessica kept trying to make it work.
Well, the thing is, Jessica told him that she would be with him, and then all of a sudden she's talking with Barnett at the pool. So then you just see Mark in the background looking at them. This is real life, guys. This
Can you
isn't
guys do
acting.
a podcast recapping an entire
I
season
think-
of The Bachelor sometime? That would be
I don't have time to
awesome.
watch
Other
that.
people do that, but if we did, we could do Love is Blind.
Like, we just
recaps,
talk about
but
who we hate
maybe.
the most.
If they
like,
do a second season.
if you
that was
watch The
atrocious.
I
Bachelor,
think they are doing a second season.
I freaking hate. What's her name? Is it Victoria?
I don't keep up with The Bachelor.
She's terrible. What's her name?
But if you're gonna get married,
Although Zach won the Bachelorette, it was actually Zach versus Ben.
and Zach won, but this is actually not us,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
obviously.
Like the actual Bachelorette.
Yeah, her name's
this year.
Victoria. She's literally the worst person ever.
Yeah.
But somebody still had to get married because
Yeah,
of the show.
he keeps giving her roses, and I'm like, she's first off, she's not very attractive, so I don't get it. Maybe love is blind and deaf and doesn't understand personality.
Well,
It's okay. If that's
Maybe
your type.
love is clout. Love is clout.
Love is
Because
clout.
why else are people on those shows? There's no other reason.
Matt,
else is
if you're
Leon
out
doing?
there,
I just wanna
don't give
I just wanna
Victoria
find
a
true love,
rose.
so I'm gonna go on the show where there's like 22 other guys who also want to date
Hey.
this one girl.
If I haven't had a boyfriend by 27, I might consider it.
Yeah, but the
We have.
yeah, I will kill
yeah,
you
they get
before
super
you go on that show.
dysfunctional people to be on the shows on purpose, so that way.
Are you
there's-
calling me dysfunctional?
No, I didn't say you were dysfunctional. I
Yes.
said the people. On the show well, I don't know. It's not really a good sign if you end up on a reality TV show. Because
I'm just saying.
But
Do you
you
not
are
think I'm gonna
on
have a
one,
boyfriend
so-
by the time I'm 27?
Yes. Okay.
What?
I don't know.
Yes,
Don't?
as in you think that she's not, or yes,
She
as in
will.
she will.
She will.
Okay.
Wait,
That's
how
my
old are you,
prediction.
Leah?
Same age as you, 18.
Okay.
Zach.
Okay. Just making
Age
sure.
reveal.
I'm
for us.
23.
Oh yeah.
Got held
I'm
back a few
actually
years.
31. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Kidding, I'm 77. I just like to date younger men, so I pretend I'm younger.
Just like Jennifer Garner.
Yep.
And Jessica, because she was like kind of old compared to Mark on
That's
that show.
true. Mark was like in his 30s. She was like in her 40s.
It's now a
No,
joint
she
movie
was in her
show
30s, he was in his
podcast.
They were like 8 years. Right?
8 or 9 years, something like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, I was
Okay.
gonna say, if you're gonna get married, you gotta start thinking about insurance, right? You got house insurance,
Is this an
car
ad?
insurance, life insurance. Because what if the person who makes the most money in the family dies? Well, you gotta deal with that. So you don't want to leave people out to dry. You know, you don't want your house to burn down and not have any money coming to repay it. And you might be getting worried now. You're like, what am I gonna do to fix this? Well, I'm gonna tell you what to do. Call Hedman Anglin Agency. HAA is known for saving people money on auto, home, and business insurance, and they would love to help you out with any of these problems that you have, help you save some money. If you're currently have another insurance agency, they might be able to work down the prices a little bit, help you save some money. And everyone knows that it is good to be a good steward of your money. That way you're responsible with it and you don't end up broke and living on the street. So if you are interested in this, I'm going to ask you to call 614-486-7300. That's 614-486-7300. If you do, make sure you tell them that Ben and Zach sent you. We send you out now.
We mind control.
We
you.
wouldn't even mind if you actually like pause the episode, look them up, and like go send them an email. Or
We'll give you
or-
3 seconds to pause and do that.
Yeah, you can do it, and I leave some of their information in
1,
the description of the episode. So if you
2,
need it, you can go down there.
3.
Okay, we're back.
Can
now.
I say something?
Yes, you can say.
I was
something.
thinking life insurance. Do you know what my favorite thing on like the murder mystery shows are?
Like
When the
this-
wife
the
will
people
take,
die.
well, like they'll double like their life insurance policy on the husband. And she'll be like, "Yeah, I know, get 20 million if you die." And then like 2 weeks later, he's dead, and they're like, "Huh, wonder who killed him."
Probably his brother.
Yeah, you're like, that's
Probably
little
the
sketch.
insurance agent.
That one teacher never.
I don't
really
know.
liked
If my
him that
parents
much.
take out money on my life, I'm just saying I'm gonna be worried. Like if they're like, now we get money if she dies, like I feel like I'm gonna die. Like why else?
I don't think
would
that's
you like?
what.
No, not usually. But I'm saying if you go from like a little bit to like we're gonna pay a ton of money so I get 40 million if you die, then you're like, are you gonna murder me?
That's a good point.
Yes. All right. So now we actually should probably get to the actual meat and content of this episode. The scores.
It's only been a
or
half
the
hour.
ranking.
Our 10 by 10.
Did I get to
rating
rank?
System.
Yeah, if you want.
Okay,
So
I want.
each category we're rating out of 10.
Okay.
You can keep
Well,
track
thank
of it on
you.
your phone.
I'm
so
gonna give
you can
17s.
get the total score. Please
Okay.
don't do that.
So, Leah, we'll start with the first category,
Yeah.
which is sentiment.
Sentiment.
Leah, you go first.
You
Oh.
go first.
10 out of 10.
10. I give it a 3.
What?
And I have to agree with Ben.
That gives our average score 16 divided by 3, which is something.
The sentiment
Less
is.
than 6.
It's
Don't
above
settle.
5.
Marry your best friend. Don't be a terrible person. You can always turn your life around. You can learn those lessons. Did you not get that from the movie?
We're not talking
You
about
think that's a
message, we're talking
3?
about sentiment.
Sentiment. Wait, what does sentiment
How
mean
much it
then?
meant
It
to
means
you.
how much it meant to you.
Oh!
How much you like
Oh!
it, how much nostalgia you have.
That's still a 10 out of 10 because
Well,
like that's the
obviously.
first movie I really recall. Maybe not. Maybe Shrek is. But
Okay,
like,
well, the
it's one of
next
the first
one-
movies I really remember.
Is message.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Oh man, I give it a 4.
Really? You just listened to that whole message that I thought it gave,
I'm
and
gonna
you
have
give
to
that
give
a 4?
it more.
More than a 4? What?
More than a 4 would probably be a 5.
Oh, I love you.
It's not because of you, Leah.
Zach always does this. He's always like, "Oh, I want to be favored by the guests. So I'm gonna go 1 above Ben," and then I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, he gave it a 5 instead of a 4. What a person he is."
No, actually,
that's average. That's halfway there.
Shut up, Ben. I was gonna give it actually a 4, but then I wanted to rhyme. So I was like, 5 doesn't rhyme.
Shut up. I love it.
Okay, I'll give it a 5.
Well, why
Thank you.
is the message not subpar according to us?
Yeah, why is the
Because
message
again,
subpar?
I
You
agree
said
with
not
David
subpar, but
with
I'm
Keith
curious.
Phipps. I think it gives mixed messages. Like, is she supposed to not end up with the guy because she's a literal terrible person in the rest of her life? Or is she supposed to end up with him because now she knows that she was a terrible
Yeah.
person? So
Are
now
you
all of a
saying
sudden
there's no
she's not
redemption?
a terrible person? Like, I'm confused on what the message is
Well-
supposed to
But
be.
that wasn't really her. She just saw where she could go if she kept chasing these like worldly things. It wasn't actually
The
her. It
evil
was just like
version
a
of her never
future
learned, though.
possibility. She did
What
learn.
about
She
other
did learn
hardships?
her
So
lesson.
now that she learned all of those things, all of her hardships are gone.
Not really. It's just like she
She's
knows.
not even 30 at the end of the movie.
She
When did
knows-
they get a divorce?
She knows who she wants to go through her life with now. Like she's found out, like she's figured out what's important. She figured out who she needs to stick by, like the side of, and who, like who her true like friend is, her soulmate is. Like she figured out she's not gonna settle and she's not gonna pursue these worldly things that don't really matter. I mean, she didn't like find
He lives
Jesus
in
or
the
anything,
world.
so maybe it's only like an 8 or 9, I guess. But like, I don't know. I just feel like she doesn't. Like she changes, and I feel like it's a good message. Like you can turn
I think
it around.
she learns a lesson, but I think it's like a Christmas Carol where you go through all these adventures, then you wake up, you know?
And she
then you-
changed her life.
you
Her
have a new
life did not turn
invigoration.
out the same. She clearly changed her life. Because think about it. It
Yeah, but
fast
she's
forwards.
13.
But
It fast forwards another
was
17
that
years in the
another
future.
Memory?
No,
Was
no,
that
no, no.
wedding real or
Was it
was
like
it?
Inception where
But look
they
at that
planted
wedding.
it?
That
she
wedding's
actually
like 17 years in the future, assuming that we're going off the same timeline. Like I'm assuming
Yeah,
it's
but which
flashing
timeline
forward
is
to the
that
same.
one?
Did it create a tangent when she went back?
It's not
We're
that.
thinking about this like it's Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Or like
This is
any
not
other
that.
time
It's not
travel
that
we
big.
ever
It's a
did.
rom-com, okay? But like what I'm saying is, I mean, she clearly
Right.
changed her path. It wasn't like just like a, oh, I'm gonna wake up and donate money to the animal shelter because I feel like being a better person. Like no, it was a true lifestyle change. She was never in the Six Chicks. She married him. She wasn't like sleeping with other
agree
dudes.
with
Like
that. I
it's
agree with
a
that. That's why I
total
give it a 5.
turnaround. Okay, thank you.
Maybe it just didn't speak to me. I guess.
Glass
I don't
half
know.
full. That's what you gotta do.
I'm definitely a glass half full person. I
okay.
think.
No, you're not.
Really?
Yeah.
It depends on the
Look
situation.
at the glass you're holding right now, Leah. What do you think that is?
Like a third.
Yeah, see, she's not.
That's half full right there. She said it's a third, so. Anyway, all right.
I'm being realistic.
Next is,
What would you say
Plot.
this is?
what do you give plot, Leah?
I mean, it's bad if I give it. Okay. I mean,
No, you can give it over.
come back to me in a minute. I'm getting really hot in
I
here.
gave it a 4.
This room is like 90 degrees.
I will also
Fine.
give it a 4.
Mm.
And it's not because I just want to agree with
I
Ben,
don't
because
like
heard
the
his
magic
feelings.
dust
Yeah, I thought that was kind of stupid.
or the whole concept of the entire
You know what?
movie. So that makes it hard to like.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because I feel like at the end they do good with, or they do well with. I think most rom-coms would have just given her the guy easy off. Like she wouldn't have had to go back in the
That
past.
is not true. The whole point of rom-coms is that the guy doesn't come easy. Is
No,
there a rom-com where
no,
the
but
guy
I'm saying at that
comes
point in the
easily?
movie, did you expect him to just ditch his wife? Because like I feel like a first-time
did.
watcher would, but he didn't. Like I
That
feel
is
like
true. That
that's
was-
good. I felt like that was
That was the
interesting.
one twist that was pretty
Yeah,
decent.
so that
actually.
kicks it to an 8.
But it's not as good as the plot of Up. This is nowhere near as good as the plot of Up, which I gave an 8.
What did I give plot of Up?
I don't
Probably
know.
a 7, knowing you.
I don't know how you could really improve the plot though of this movie. Like, where's the room for growth?
I do.
Yeah, you did give it a 7. I was right.
You, Ben, you're so smart. You could probably to fix this plot.
You could probably not make the movie. I'm just kidding.
Well, you could probably make Mark Ruffalo more involved in the first half of the movie. He was hardly in the first half of the movie. You only get to see him twice while
Well, he's
like-
young.
No, not while he's young. You only get to see Mark Ruffalo twice before the halfway mark goes.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh,
thinking
also
about
the
this
whole
actually.
part of
Maybe
the
it's only a
movie-
7
Sorry,
because
I'm interrupting.
I was thinking about this, and she actually doesn't really like. I don't know what the timeline is. How much time are they spending together? Because like, you could meet this guy and you really like him, and you spend a month with him, and maybe you're like, wow, we're soulmates. But like, how long do they really get to dive back into that connection and really get to know each other? I guess I would have liked to see a little bit more of that before they just jump back to the past and are soulmates, and she's like in love with him.
That's true, but I think the bigger problem is with the mechanics of the plot, which is that she's literally a 13-year-old, and it's too easy for her to get away with being a 30-year-old. Like, there's no way that any of these situations she could have adapted quickly enough to. People would have started, it would have gotten way worse than it actually did in the movie. And there were awkward situations because of that. But
do you think
you have to think, this was a complete personality change from the person that we never saw that she was to who she was. And people were, surprised. But if somebody changes that drastically with no apparent, connection to what
her best friend didn't even notice.
Her best friend was a self-absorbed B-word.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
but everyone else who should have noticed didn't really. I mean, they did. The receptionist did.
Do you think she has the brain chemistry of a 30-year-old, but just the memories of a 13-year-old? So, because I was thinking, she seems to be able to adapt easily, and she's obviously attracted to Maddie as a 30-year-old man. Do you think her brain chemistry was different when she's 30?
She's also attracted to that 13-year-old boy.
Which was weird. I was a little confused by that, because I was like, it's weird. I was like, does it just go back to normal? Do you just go back to being a kid and nothing changes? You're 13 again, and all of a sudden you're a child again, and you're living with your parents again.
It depends on how the time mechanics work in this, too.
I think.
And is this more of a dream, or was this a real reality? Yeah.
If it's a dream, then what did she even learn?
No, it's not really. No, I'm not saying. Does it feel more like a dream to her, or does it feel like she had another wake up and you're in a different life?
I think it was wake up like you're in a different life, but it would make more sense to explain it if it was a dream because
I mean, when she wakes up the next time, when she comes back to being 13, does she look at that as a vague experience, or does it feel just as does she feel just like she was just as 30 yesterday as she did when she woke up and she was 30 and she was 13
yesterday? Did she retain her 30ness?
That's the question.
I don't know.
I think she grew upon.
So then she would be 47 by the time she gets married?
Do you think she ever tells Maddie about this?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, that's a good point. I don't think that's relevant, but Maddie would also be like, oh, that's so cool, that.
Yeah, I don't think he'd care. I think he'd just take a picture of her.
And he would probably just assume it was a dream.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'd like to know the thoughts, because it would be weird to wake up and you're 30, but you're not, because you have to go back to I mean, her preference in men is going to be Maddie at 30 one day, and then the next day she's making out with Maddie at 13. How does that work? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because she has to adapt to liking older men.
I like 18-year-olds right now. I like guys my age.
That's true. Put yourself in that situation. If you're attracted to the person in your age group, and then you were sent into a body that's attracted to people.
Yeah, you wouldn't go right away because part of that is because you develop.
It's right now.
But that seems kind of weird.
It is weird to think of it like that.
Because then you go back after liking older people to liking, and then she makes out with the younger version.
Exactly. That was kind of weird. That's what I think about. Because I'm right now, okay, 18 to 22, that's my range. We're good. But think, you jump. But think, okay, so I went.
This is an ad for her.
If you are 18 to 22, please send an application. You also have to watch this movie with me.
Does that mean that I have to we're gonna have to read through applications? Don't send them to the movie
to the podcast. Am I allowed to give my number out on here? No, I'm kidding.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. This could go out to anybody.
That's such a bad idea.
That would be a horrible idea.
No, I'm not that desperate. No, I'm kidding. If you're 18 to 22, I'd probably feel really uncomfortable if you tried to date me solely based on the fact that you're 18 to 22. But what I was saying is, I'm trying to do the math.
You're a 47-year-old in an 18-year-old's body.
Yeah.
Or you're a 47-year-old on the internet pretending to be
I wake up tomorrow and I'm dating someone. Okay.
Just like Maddie.
Say I have a boyfriend. What's a guy's name that I don't actually know them?
Okay, so let's sort of talk about character arcs while we're talking about this.
Did you say Donald?
Dawn.
Okay, say there's Dawn.
Dawn the jeweler.
And Dawn and I are dating, but tomorrow I teleport into the future, and for some reason I'm just as attracted to Dawn when he's 45 as I am, and then I jump back the next day and for some reason I'm still attracted to him. That's not weird, but it's even weirder if you're 13, because there's a big difference between a 13 and a 30-year-old. 20 to 40, it's gross, but it's not crazy, but okay,
I feel like we're sort of missing the point of the movie when we're talking about this, because
this shows that she's seen it 30 times.
This is not actually this is totally unrealistic. Obviously, maybe if it was a dream. If it's a dream, it makes more sense because you think differently when you're in dreams because it's subconscious than when you're when you're not in a dream. But the interesting thing is that the dream starts before the dream ends.
Well, it kind of, this is going to sound weird, but I think about this sometimes. I'm like, so do old women, like, you know the guys that you think are, like, really, like, so, like, if I think a guy's really hot right now, like the guys on TV, like, the young hot guys, like, do old women see them and they're like, are they more attracted to old guys than they are to, like,
Cougars are. All right, what's the next point? Character arcs. What do you give character arcs, Leah?
After this
10 out of 10!
I give it a 3.
Okay, I'm gonna give character arcs a 2.
What?
I'm sorry. This was my
Did you see the complete turnaround in Jenna?
Yeah, and it was too abrupt. So I think it was just like my least favorite part.
Okay. But here's the thing.
I don't know what she was like before. She was a complete terrible person.
You
before.
don't know who she is.
Well, I think you know who young Jenna is. So I guess
But
what you
she's
get
so
to see
naive
the
to who she
character
is.
arc is young Jenna changing her path so that she doesn't ever end up becoming
Yes, but
the old Jenna.
I know the way they set it up works, but they set it up in a way that you can't actually get to understand her
It's
character.
hard because you don't get to meet Jenna before she gets her body taken over by a 13-year-old, and you don't get to meet 13-year-old Jenna.
That's true. Where did her
all that
consciousness go? Just imagine the 30-year-old.
Yeah, that's
in
what
the
doesn't
future.
really make sense.
One day she's just like, well, we're 13. Like, that is
Then
weird.
did she regain her consciousness?
Yeah, so in that
She ceases to
tangent
exist, I think.
universe,
So it would have had to be a tangent universe if you're
Yeah.
looking at
no,
linear timelines.
I think
If you're looking at linear timelines, it has to be, because
I
that
don't
means her
think this
30-year-old
is-
self would lose herself, and then it would have to come back. Where does it go in that? And then if it's non-linear, like goes into tangents, then it would just be one timeline where
true,
her
'cause she's
30-year-old
not
self is missing, and the
jumping.
other
Her
timeline where
13-year-old
30-year-old
self
self
isn't
lived through
moving
the whole
into the
life.
timeline. She's jumping into the 30-year-old's consciousness. So it's not like she just joins the timeline magically. Like, she was always there. She entered into the brain. Maybe it is a dream. This is weird.
Okay. Well, anyway, what's the next part? We gotta get through these.
we got to get going because we spent a lot of time on the first couple. Let's see. Oh,
How many
that's
are
my
there?
paper. Let's see. We
Just
got,
so you know, I'm going to
there's like
justify
10.
every single thing I give a 10.
Cinematography. This one should be quick 4 because it's not that good.
I get a 5. I liked it. It was okay, but it sucked.
The fake New York scenes. Boo! It's not real New York. I want real New York.
Like when she said for the taxi and it slams on its brakes. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 7 just
Well,
for the
it was
swing
'cause it was
scene.
that one guy.
Because the what scene?
The swing scene, because it was really cute and I liked
When
it.
they were making out on the swing set.
She's
Yeah,
like,
that
Maddie,
shows
you
kids
have
right
arm
there.
hair. And he's like, well, that's a first, like, kind of response. He's like, that's a different kind of response or something like that. I've just always loved that scene from the time I was little. I was like, Maddie.
And let's not get too deep into that specific thing.
So
Okay.
7.
Originality. I actually gave it a 6 because it's like kind of original, you know.
10. 8.
I give it a 5.
5. All right.
I give it, I think, an 8. I haven't seen a
It's
movie
like sort
it.
of original, but like.
But at the same time, it's like if you took a Christmas movie and then made it a rom-com.
Yeah, it's like Christmas Carol. That's kind of a good comparison.
Yeah.
Without like the actual like spirits.
But it hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
It hasn't been done before in a rom-com form, I don't think. So
I
like,
bet there's lots of rom-coms that copied this one.
but most of them are like you wake up and you're no longer ugly, not you wake up and you're 30.
You wake up and you're. I've not watched one like that. Palm Springs is sort of like time loopy, but that's not really like this.
Does Hot Tub Time Machine have anything to do with that? I've never seen it. I don't even know if that's a rom-com. It might just be a com.
It's a com.
I've never watched that either. Okay, how about
It says Time
acting?
Machine in it though.
Acting, okay, so I do like Mark Ruffalo. I think he does better acting, obviously, as I said, than he does in Marvel. I like him in Marvel. I just think he was better in this specifically. I'm not really sure I liked the Jennifer Garner teenage side. I thought that was a little cheesy and kind of like there were so many scenes that was just super awkward. Like
I
her
like when she
dress.
pulls everything out of her bra. Zach looked away. He's like, "Ah!" And I'm like, Zach, it's not.
Yeah, I'm a vampire, and that's like the light, bright light. But anyway, so
So yeah, I gave acting a 5 because I like Mark Ruffalo, but I don't like Jennifer Garner, and I also don't like pretty much anybody else.
I meant to say 5.
I'm giving it a 10 because I love Jennifer Garner. I love Mark Ruffalo. I like Judy Greer. Judy Greer is actually in some of my other favorite rom-coms.
I wanna know
She's
the
in
score of this.
Jurassic World. She's in 27 Dresses. She's in The Wedding Planner.
Jurassic World is a rom-com.
No, just like other favorite movies of mine. Like she is rom-com royalty, okay? Judy Greer. Come on. Gotta
She
love
related
it.
to Pam Grier? No, probably not.
I don't
Well,
know.
wait, maybe. Pam Grier is in Jackie Brown. a Quentin Tarantino movie, by the way. My least favorite, but it's still really good.
What in the Quentin Tarantino?
Okay, so Style. I give Style a 3.
I'm gonna give Style a 2.
I'm gonna be honest. What does that mean?
Style is just how all the elements.
It's the most broad of all of our categories.
It's kind of how all the categories mix
like how
well together.
everything looks together.
Oh, okay.
A cohesive mix. So
Like how
not
did the
very-
language fit with the cinematography, fitting with the acting and the characters?
and the color schemes. And
I'd
all
give
that.
it a 7 because I love how it flows together. So like I love 80s, 90s, to early 2000s. Like I just love the vibes
And
they
this
give
was
me.
horrible.
So, and it like
renditions of all of them.
it was all of it. It had a little bit of like the 90s
But it was
and
terrible.
like a lot of early 2000s, hardcore 80s. Like I loved
It was like,
every bit of it.
look, we're playing an 80s
Thriller?
song, guy. We're playing
I
Thrillers.
love Thriller.
This is such an 80s movie.
No. I just
It's like-
loved how
It's like Die Hard. Oh, there's a Christmas tree in the background.
so
it's
like
a Christmas
okay,
movie.
okay. But the simplicity of 2000s movies, it was just everything was so much. Think about rom-coms today and how dirty they are and how like
I'll give you
perverted
that.
in
I'll give you
language and
that.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's
There's
true.
something about watching a 2000 rom-com that's just so much more simpler,
There's too
and
much
you
meme
leave it
culture.
feeling better. Like you watch it and you're like, oh, that was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I don't feel like violated or weird after it. Like I don't know. Like I like it.
If you feel violated during a movie,
Like your
don't
brain.
ever watch that movie again.
I don't, but like movies today are just like weird. It's just not the same as it used to be.
I understand.
So
I
I
agree.
give it
This was
a
more
7-8.
a more
Yeah.
clean. I guess
more
that's
clean.
not what style means, but you're right. It's
Everything
more clean.
comes together just for a movie that you enjoy. I don't have to think too hard about it unless we're getting like weird. I don't
we
like
did think too hard about it on
Yeah.
this episode, I'm pretty sure.
I usually don't have to think too hard about
Yeah, you
it. I just enjoyed it. I
spilled your
just spilled my drink. I just get to sit back, enjoy the show, and just kind of chill for a little bit, not think too hard.
And talk about every single detail.
Well, I love it. It's been 30 times. I mean, you can only do it so often.
Been only so often.
All right, so score/soundtrack.
10 out of 10. Are you
3.
kidding me?
3 out of 10.
I give it a 4. I like the song Thriller.
I love Thriller. I love Crazy for You by Madonna. Why Can't I by what's her name, Liz Flair or something. I don't even know.
What's that
love
one song that the new wave song that they
The one that they
play
played while they were
during
dancing in the
TV,
bedroom.
and then at the end credits.
Why Can't I? That one.
Yeah, probably.
Why Can't I?
Why can't I stop watching this?
Yeah, that was probably the best song, and it wasn't even that good.
When she like
Thriller's actually good,
like the
actually. I like
romance
Thriller.
montage
No,
and they're filming. It's like get a load of me.
No, it's when they're in the
get a load of you.
bedroom singing like all the girls,
Oh.
like her 6 little
We
friends.
are young. That one, Love is a Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's only because it's new wave, but I like other new wave bands.
It's
not
all
that one.
good. It's all good.
I like old wave.
Old wave. No, new wave is the best. Duran.
But I
I'm gonna like
base
the wolf.
Or who
I-
else is new wave?
I
Elvis
base my music
Costello. He might
playlist
be more
off of TV
post-punk.
shows and movies though. Did you know that?
What?
Most of my playlists and songs I discover are from like TV shows and movies because I can listen to them and get that same feeling that the actual movie
mean
soundtrack
Teen
gave
Beach
The
me.
Movie?
question:
What's
is this
going
better
on?
than the Donnie Darko soundtrack?
This can't be-
Answer:
oh.
No.
I loved Head Over Heels from the Donnie Darko, but we watched the different edition with the crappier music you said.
Actually, that's right. That you watched.
We watched the director's
watched
cut
the-
with
I
her.
watched the director's
arguably
cut.
that edition's cut of music was probably worse than this. So like a 2.
I
out of
did
10.
like Head Over Heels. I got a good song out of it, but
Don't
that
break
was it.
my heart. Don't break my heart.
Although the
Don't-
director's cut
don't-
did
Don't
explain.
throw it away.
That's but that was not good for that.
I like that
I think
movie
the
because it
mystery,
makes
the
me feel like I'm
ambiguity
in
of
my
it.
own
The
80s
ambiguity
movie
makes it
montage.
What?
I like that what is it? Head Over Heels because it makes me feel like I'm in like my own 80s movie montage
That's true. It does.
wherever I go. Like I'll just be driving in my car and
That's
I'm like,
actually
yeah,
in general what Donnie Darko makes
I'm
me
in a
feel
movie.
Like.
I know. It just
Like
makes
you're
me feel
in a
like
80s montage.
I love it. I actually was singing the other day. I was listening to a song and I was like, wow, I want to watch Donnie Darko again.
I know that's what Donnie Darko does.
We'll
to
see
you.
if we hit 30. It's been one so far.
Anyway, we Donnie. Yeah, we didn't mention that we watched the director's cut of Donnie Darko, but we did from our Donnie Darko episode throwback, and it was not as good as the original.
Well, I liked that we watched it because I got to like know more
I've
about
never
the lore of the movie.
seen-
more about Grandma Death,
All my friends more quiet and,
and then we'll have to watch
silent than
S.
during Donnie Darko.
which is the sequel.
There's
There's another one?
that a lot of people don't like, but we should still watch it.
It's not Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, it's about the youngest daughter, Samantha Darko. It's about her.
Is it the same actress?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
What happened to the girlfriend?
Wasn't that his actual sister?
No. It's the even younger sister.
Oh, they weren't actually sisters? Okay. Anyway.
No, Maggie and Jake Gyllenhaal are siblings.
But that's how you get everyone to shut up, especially Caleb. He won't talk. He'll be
choreography, I give a 4 because of the Thriller dance. It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I give choreography a 3.
You gave it a 4 because it was pretty good?
No, because the Thriller dance was good, not the rest of it.
I give it a 3 because nothing sticks out. I don't even know how to apply it to this movie.
What do you mean? When she's dancing with him in that one scene, he's like, no, this is how you do it. And they start to dance, and that's just... I like it.
Yeah, that's why I give it a 3.
What's that? When they're like dancing in the basement, it's super awkward. I feel like it was spot on for like in the early party scenes and stuff for like how awkward puberty is. While they're all just standing around at the party, just like they're like, our first boy girl party, just kind of like hanging out.
I never got invited to parties when I was 13, so I don't know what that's like.
Yeah. Your first party was probably like the pool party I invited you to when we were like, what, 16?
That's actually probably true.
Oh my gosh. But, yeah. Jeez. Weird. I thought it was pretty good. I'd say like a 6.
Okay, that's your lowest one.
I don't pay that much attention
So
to
my
it.
final score is 39 out of 100, so 39%.
Mine is 42.
42. And yours is a lot higher than that.
Yours is probably like 80s.
No, it's higher than 80s. I think.
Think so? Well,
Because
she gave it a
then-
6, so that's -4, and then she gave it like an 8 and a 9 and a 9.
Wait,
so it's probably
is
like
this
an
supposed to be added
89,
up?
89 or 90, probably, Leah.
Yeah.
But like gut feeling is like,
If you had to rate it out of 100 right now.
If you were like subjective out of 100,
Just gonna say 100 out of 100.
maybe. I mean, if it's that good.
But like, do you think it's like the perfectly constructed movie? Because if you're gonna give a movie a 100, everything has to be right.
But does a perfectly constructed movie have to be like perfectly constructed, or
What
can
is
it
a
just be
perfectly
itself?
constructed
That's
movie?
true,
Like,
that's
give me an
true.
example of a movie that's better.
There Will Be Blood.
Donnie Darko.
Up.
Honestly, the Elmo
Okay.
movie.
I'd
No,
say,
I hate Elmo and Grouchland.
Oh, what? That's
That's one of my least favorite movies of
Is
all
that the
time.
one where he gets his blanket?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
I
one.
hate it.
And there's those grouch people.
Yeah, the Grouch.
And then there's like the guy that's like in front, like the human guy that's
Yeah.
like in charge of them.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Why?
I just don't. It's just horrible. And I hate Planes. And I hate Kronk's New Groove.
Planes sucks.
Yeah,
It
Planes
sucks.
suck. The reason I hate Planes is because I thought it was made by Pixar when I first watched it because I was too young to really understand that it wasn't. Because I was like planes, cars, obviously.
what did you guys rate this?
39%.
And
So
a
this
42.
is the lowest one I've ever
So, like, what's
given.
objectively good in a movie rating? Because, like,
For us, probably 60 something.
60 something.
okay, because, like, 100 is unrealistic. But, like, there's a big part of me
Nothing
that wants
has
to say...
actually a 100, though.
Yeah,
That's the problem
That's
with
the
movie
thing.
ratings.
Like, I can't...
We take into account human error in every single aspect, which means
Okay.
that there is no perfect 100 movie out there.
Yeah, and there's also no perfect rating system, so...
So, like,
our
would it be,
rating
like,
system sort of
does a
skews-
77...
Our
like,
rating
I
system
feel like-
sort of skews where every movie falls between, like, 50 and 85.
So if I'm being my toughest critic, like if I'm really looking at this movie and analyzing, it's a 77. But if I'm just like watching it and here for a living, it's 100. Like it just depends on
Right.
my mood.
Right.
If I'm like,
That's what
is she really
that's what
sexually
sentiment-
attracted to a 13-year-old one day and 30 the next day, then it's a 77. But if I'm like, whatever, he's hot, then it's 100. Like,
I guess it is worldviews.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It really depends on which Leah you're asking.
I think that's like if you base anything just on sentiment, it would be a lot easier to rate things 100s.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some movies that just make you feel a certain way.
It does.
And
This
then-
movie makes me feel a certain way.
Donnie
This movie
Darko
makes
creeps
me
me
feel
out.
like I'm not gonna die alone, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, movies that give you a lasting feeling, which unfortunately this movie did not, but I get that it did for you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the movies that you really come back to. And they're not always 100% of the time the most well-crafted movies, objectively.
In fact, they're 100% not.
They're 100%
They usually
not.
aren't. I'd say the movies, okay, because the critics are all super snobby, super out of touch people, I think.
A.O. Scott.
You know what I mean? I just feel like, why are you watching a movie? To pick it apart? Like, are you ever really going to enjoy anything in life if you
Yeah,
go
but when I
into the
watched
intent
The
to pull
Seventh
every
Seal-
single little piece of it apart?
I can be like, oh, this is in Swedish, but also it's dealing with like really complex issues about death and like how do you deal with death and like, can you outwit death and what were the different spiritual aspects? Where's God involved in all of this? And I'm thinking about all these deep things, but a lot of people wouldn't find it to be super entertaining necessarily. Although it is actually kind of funny if you get over the fact that it's in Swedish. But like critics would love those kind of movies, and they are good. So that's the thing is like
Okay.
not everything is easy to digest, even if it's good. Like I feel that way
Like
about
gluten.
music. Some of the best music I've listened to, I couldn't just play on repeat.
So like, okay. But here's like the quote, the Maya Angelou quote, where it's like, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Like, you're gonna forget that this movie had like a scene that was like awkward or something like that, but you're not gonna forget the overall feeling of the movie, which is why I feel like movie critics in general, anyone who goes into their life purely to criticize things, are going to miss out on so much of that feeling. They're going to forget in the long run because all they're looking for are mistakes and stuff like that. They're never going to feel good about anything, so they're never going to remember the feeling.
Wow, she's really calling us out.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, but I don't feel anything. I am tired.
I'm a rather passionate
All right,
person.
we already went through Brita moments because there was a lot of plot holes and we've already like dissected every single one. We just did that early.
Yes, sir.
And
I did pretty good, I think, for liking it.
Invest in Mark Ruffalo. That's pretty much it. Maybe Jennifer Garner. She had a pretty successful
Cooking channel. Oh, actually, she does baby food now. She makes organic, sugar-free baby food or something.
Wow, why can't actresses and actors just do normal, like actress? Why they always have to be like, I'm doing baby food now.
She's like a farmer.
I'm Selena Gomez, and I'm doing an HBO Max cooking show now too.
Shut up! I love her. She's
and
amazing.
Somebody who's worked their whole life to try to get the chance to get a cooking show, and then Selena Gomez gets in. She doesn't even.
Okay, Selena Gomez is not qualified, but Jennifer Garner, I follow her recipes, and they are actually really good. Like, and I love it.
That people can only be talented at one thing. That's probably
And
not correct.
it's super, like, she's just super calming, and like, I will just binge watch her videos. Tasha watches them too.
All right, shout out to Tasha
from the Trolls episode.
Go listen to the Trolls episode if you haven't already. What feedback? I don't think we really have anything other than what Leah said about us having no joy in life because we are critics. I'm just kidding. We just kind of do this for fun. We're not actually movie experts or anything.
But like, don't you see what I'm saying?
We're
though?
actually movie experts. We know
like
everything.
food critics. Do I really want to think?
I watched a movie
how
about
does
that. It's
this
called
actually,
Chef.
I have a PhD in
like,
filmography.
do you want to be the rat in Ratatouille, or do you want to be the angry food critic chef man?
Yeah, but somehow at the end of that movie, he's still like.
He ended up happy because he connected in to the feeling that it gave him. He finally
We should
like
review
had
Ratatouille.
that
That's a
where
good
the
movie.
food like actually meant something emotionally to him. He wasn't just writing down a piece of paper, oh, it was a little too salty, I don't know if I love the sauce. It's like it finally all connected, and that's when he started enjoying life again.
The dad on TikTok that looks like the Ratatouille food critic.
Yes, I have.
He's so funny. I love him. He's so funny. He's got like 7 million followers.
Oh, here's Leah's shout out from it. If you want to date me, you have to watch this movie. You might not have to like it, but you have to pretend to like it. So that's life lessons about Leah.
Conclusions about
That's
the
how much
movie.
I value this movie.
It was okay. It was like a little forward on like the whole time travel thing. Not like time travel, like getting in. I don't even know what to call it, honestly.
Body swap. Like,
It
I
was-
don't even know.
Like they could have made it a little
not
bit.
a body
They
swap.
could have thought it out more instead of just this magic sparkle dust.
But is that the point? Because it's a rom-com.
No?
Who
but,
watching
they
a
put-
rom-com?
They put no thought into that.
Don't you think, though, they did a good job with their target audience? Someone like me. How much
yeah,
are they
probably
really going to
did,
think
'cause
about
they
it?
made money off
I
of it.
think, okay, hey, it's good enough that I'm basing whether or not, like, I'm basing my future marriage on
Is that a
this
good
movie.
thing, though?
That means that this movie's important.
Is that good, though? Like,
I think it makes it a good movie.
Let's email Mark.
that
Ruffalo
seems
and
like
find out.
That seems like a little bit too high to be like. You know.
If, they can't be my Maddie if they don't like this movie.
Yeah.
Then you will never find anyone. I'm joking.
I'm kidding. Like I said, they don't have to like it. They just have to watch it with me.
You need to
Okay.
find someone who likes this movie as much
This
as you.
movie is ultimately
That would be my dream.
Is ultimately not as satisfying as it wants you to think it is.
What? I feel deeply satisfied.
I don't. Because
have to
I'm
force
like,
it, though.
Because there's
How do
two
I-
endings, and I don't like that.
There's not two endings. There's only one ending.
I
There's
know,
only
but it
one
feels
ending
like
where
there's
she
two
goes
endings,
back
I
and
like
changes it.
I like the first ending where they didn't end up together better.
No, that's terrible.
No, I think you actually learn a lesson in that point. In that one.
She did learn her
That's what
lesson
I'm
though,
saying, but
and
then
it
she still got what
wasn't
she
real.
wanted.
It
It's
wasn't
kinda like, point was
real.
that you didn't
Do
get
you
what you
think
wanted.
Maddie should have to go through his life miserable because he didn't want to marry that chick? Are you kidding me? He's like, sometimes.
Maddie,
Maddie-
you are only able to marry one person,
Yeah.
which is not true.
Maddie could have gotten over her really quickly, but he wallowed in himself for like 17 years and then
But, like,
finds this
That's
girl.
completely
Maddie-
unrealistic too, because he stopped liking her when she was like 13.
Yeah.
But
Like people
no,
change their
but, like,
personalities. They're not even the same person.
No, but she came back and she was that person he fell in love
Yeah,
with.
but it's like Soul. Like, do you get
But
that
she was
second
still
chance or
13,
no?
so she wasn't actually
seen
that
it.
person.
But I like it, and I feel like Maddie is better off because of her going back in time.
They coulda ended
Everyone
it
is
like
better
Soul,
off.
though.
No one.
They could have ended it like
Even
Soul. It
Wendy
could've been
probably met
she got
this
what she wanted,
boring
and then
guy.
She was disappointed, and then she woke up. That would have been a really confusing ending, though, actually, for this movie.
How would she
Yeah.
be disappointed?
Well, in Soul, it's like he's disappointed with his life.
Spoilers for Soul.
I haven't
sorry,
seen Soul.
3, 2, 1. He's like disappointed with his life, and then he realizes he actually had a good life, kind of. So it's like a reverse, but then he like gets a second chance at his life.
But
Or-
you don't see what this.
How about those super sad Christmas movies where they're like a businessman, then they wake up and they have a family and everything they want,
I think
and
you're
then
referring
they,
to a Christmas. Wait,
Christmas Detour.
no,
No.
like Wonderful Life,
yeah, something like that.
which a lot of people give 100. A lot of
Which
people-
is
I've never
so
watched it,
sad.
though.
I can't watch movies like that because they're like, they have kids and a family and they're like, oh, I love this. I wish this was what I had. And then one day they wake up and they're back at their job and you're like, what the heck was that about? They're just like, this is what life could be. Too bad it sucks still. Boom, you're awake.
I like movies like that better.
Me too, because they actually teach you a lesson that's applicable.
What's the lesson?
That life
That
is
life
what it is.
not an ideal. Like this
No!
movie presents an ideal.
The movie, if the movie's teaching, the lesson I don't get. Like, the lesson I get from this movie isn't, oh, sometimes you mess up and you have to wish on the wishing dust. The lesson I get is, like, you want to make sure you marry your best friend. You want to make sure that you have the right people in your life. You're not trying to pursue these, like, shallow relationships. Fame, all this stuff doesn't
but
matter.
You had to kind of dig for that one.
No, I didn't. I don't want to be a six chick. I want to be Maddie's best friend and soulmate. Like, that's it.
Well, then do it.
Sorry to whoever's listening to this. I'm getting really loud in the
Yeah.
microphone.
I feel like we're doing this on purpose, though. We're
We
like,
apologize for your ears.
You guys are getting me really worked up. But, like, that's obviously, like, you're an idiot if you think the lesson from this movie is, I'm going to go wish on the
that's
dollhouse.
not what I said, though.
What
not
did you
say?
say?
That. I
Well,
said
the
that
lesson from the other
problem
movie is
with
the exact
romantic
same
movies
thing.
in general is that they present a idealistic view on romance, even though she was like, oh, I'm changing as a person, but she just had to change who she was as a person, and then the relationship was like super easy after that point
But
because they were like
The other
so
movie
perfect
is
for each
essentially
other.
giving you
But
the same lesson,
romantic
though.
movies that
Well,
deal with how hard it is
I
to
think-
actually be in a relationship with a person who's not exactly the same as you.
You
which
go.
is every relationship.
You want to escape, though. No one wants to watch a movie about
I don't
how
wanna
hard
escape.
life
I
is.
want to learn.
I like my life.
Things about.
Like-
I want to learn things when I watch a movie.
Hold on.
I don't want to escape.
I feel
from
like I
real
did
life.
learn things.
Another factor of this movie is the fact that it acts like the only thing that was keeping them apart was her and her decision to become one of the 6 girls or whatever. I don't know.
That's so simple.
Girl.
That's such a simplistic
Yeah,
problem.
and then once she changed that, it was easy. It was not. Maybe it wasn't. Like, it doesn't show, but it's like that was the only thing that needed to change in herself was herself. But I feel like in real life there are way more challenges and different factors, including Maddie himself, that he probably needed to change. But in this movie, he was almost perfect. Like, he didn't really do anything at all, so his arc was just a flat line.
I mean, it was from the very beginning. He was clear that he was going to be original. He was going to stay who he was. He wasn't going to conform. So the question
Yeah, but
was
is anybody like
Jenna
that?
going to change or not?
Yeah, but how do you
Yes.
learn from that?
How does Maddie learn from that?
No, but like, how do you learn if like?
because in real life, there's not gonna be a like one person is a flat line and the other person is like a volatile. They need to change because that's why people get in trouble in relationships because they're like, I need to change.
I think in
fundamentally
relationships-
who this person is.
No,
not necessarily.
not
I
that.
need to like help this person work on bad habits and things,
No.
but like I need to change who this
That's not.
person is.
She didn't change fundamentally
that's
who
not
she
what he was
was.
trying to
She
do.
changed what she was. She changed
She did
who
ch-
she cared. Had input in her life. She still was the same person, really. So like at her core, she was like gonna be dorky.
Two
Like
different characters.
she was.
I saw the evil Maddie and then the.
The
teenage
question
Maddie.
was,
Or
did
not
she?
Maddie, Jennifer Gardner.
creepy
No, no,
Maddie
no.
and then like slightly.
Jenna
less
was
creepy
always Jenna. The question was, did Jenna want to change who she was to please others?
Jenna. I just realized that.
But like, did Jenna want to change who she was to please others, or did Jenna want to stay authentic? That was the question. It wasn't like she had some huge personality shift. It's like,
No, I
are
think-
you going to be who you were meant to be?
You're
or
right.
not?
That's a good aspect to take away, but I don't think that's all that they focused on. They focused on other aspects of it. and
Okay,
and
I just would
didn't
like to
make a lot
add
of
in,
sense.
it is a rom-com.
I know, but we analyze it.
And
Yeah,
I
we
think,
analyze it like it's any other
I mean,
movie.
I feel like
Yeah.
I went to bat for this thing. Like,
You did.
You did. It's your favorite movie. Good for you. So,
I love this movie.
but we should probably end soon because it's getting really long.
Yeah, okay. So our
Oh my
social
gosh.
media is at the Movie Vault Pod on Instagram, at Movie Vault Pod on Twitter, and then email us any questions and things and such and all
And-
that on at the Movie Vault Pod at gmail.com.
And if you look at the followers of the Movie Vault Instagram, look for Leah and then follow me. I'm on there. My last name's No, I'm not going to tell you that. That seems
you already
weird.
said your last
Follow
name,
Leah.
actually, but yeah.
All right.
From the movie
whatever.
vault.
And so yeah, Leah, would you like to close the vault?
Close.
Wait, I'm 30 now, guys.
Wait. Wait, hold on. I'm thinking. What is it? Pookie.
Bye, Pookie.
Bye, Pookie. Yes. Okay.